Good morning, everybody. I am trying to figure out how to get Wesley on, so you might need to hang on just a sec. Nope, unable to join. Let's see. Try it again. There we go.
We got it figured out now?
I hope so. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Let me get this. Okay. There. All right.
Sweet.
I think we're good.
Cool. Well, to get started, I know there's only a couple people on, but I did want to say thanks for hopping on. I had put out a while back something about starting a podcast and just having some folks come on from the wildland fire community and just sharing their stories. And I figured, what the heck, why not go live? So reached out to a few people, and Wesley so graciously decided, hey, I'm going to join this thing. He didn't know he was my guinea pig, so this is our trial run. But yeah, the whole point is just to get on and let folks in fire kind of talk about what they're into, fire and outside of fire. So today, like I said, we have Wesley. He's from Mississippi and he works in wildland fire. He's been in since '06, he said.
Yeah. Oh six.
Yep, '06, and then got into bladesmithing. So we did a little chit chatting beforehand. Figured I'd give the reins over to him and let him kind of explain or share his story and fire and bladesmithing, how that all got started.
Yeah. Well, like she said, I'm Wesley, married to my wonderful wife, Erin, for 7 years now, I think, somewhere around there. Got a few kids. My daughter's 6, son's 16, and stepson that's 18. So we're scattered from one end to the other. Yeah, and I started in fire in 2006, and just I didn't really start making stuff till probably about 5, 6 years ago. I started off making pins and cauls and stuff on the lathe, and then the way I got into making knives was my son bought me a set of handle scales for Father's Day one year and wanted me to make him a knife, and I didn't know anything about making knives, and he said, "Well, you watch the forging show," which we're talking about forging fire show, which I was on. We'll get to that in a minute. And so I ended up looking up. I was watching one, and because a guy had one with just minimal tools and stuff, and he said he had won or he learned by watching Jay Nielsen, which is one of the judges, by watching his DVDs. So I looked it up online, and turns out the guy that produces his DVDs lives like 20 miles down the road. So we
Oh,
ended
no
up
way.
going to, yeah, so I ended up going to his shop. His name's Chris Crawford. You can look him up. He makes amazing pocket knives. He's been doing it for 20 something years. So I went to his shop. Super nice guy. He got me started and got me pointed in the right direction. Actually, gave me a couple of things to help me get started. And I bought a DVD from him, and it's just been uphill or downhill from there. Kind of went from a hobby to a part-time job, and now it's something that helps pay the bills. And that's between that and my full-time job of with the Forestry Commission and being a husband and dad. I got a full plate for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
like I said, I started making knives about 4 years ago. And then after I've been making for about a year, kind of just as a joke, I saw that the TV show Forged in Fire was casting. So I told my wife just as a joke that I was gonna apply for it. And I was like, I'm never gonna hear anything back from this. I don't know how to do any of this, nothing like this. And
right.
then they ended up casting me, and I went on about 2 years later because after that I got casted, COVID hit and all production halted. So I went to that, and it actually just aired this past December. I was on the Judges Challenge Jay Nielsen episode, but that was a lot of fun. I got to meet all the guys, all the judges, and Jay Nielsen, who's a huge inspiration. He's who I learned, the guy who DVD that I learned from. I got to meet him in person, and which was really neat, and all the guys on the show and everybody that I'd been watching for years. So it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty awesome too that you were able to like network ahead of time and kind of get a feel for it. So it kind of like came full circle, it sounds like, which is pretty
Right?
awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's why they put me in that episode was because he was the one that was making all the parameters for it, and that's the guy that I learned from. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's pretty special. Cool. Yeah, so let's see. You said that aired in December.
Yeah, this past December,
Okay,
like right before Christmas.
what do you remember like what episode just in case anybody wanted to check it out?
It's I think it's season 8, episode 36, if I remember right, but the numbers got kind
Okay.
of screwed up. But I know it's I know it is the Judges Challenge Jay Nielsen episode. The actual number I don't remember because it
Okay.
was supposed to air a certain day, and then they changed it so the numbers got kind of messed up. But it's Judges
Right.
Challenge Jay Nielsen. It's that one. I don't know what number.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Well, and then you told me too they filmed in Connecticut and so you got to go over like check out the East Coast for a little bit too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. We flew into New York City, which I've never been to before. Like I said, for a redneck like me, going to New York City, that was kind of strange. But I really had a good time. I enjoyed it. I had a day to kill, so I went and walked around New York City. Went to the Statue of Liberty. Went to 9/11 Memorial and everything. So it was a pretty good day. I enjoyed it. I got to see a lot that I didn't see that year. Actually got to see all the coasts. I got to see the East Coast, the Gulf Coast, and the West Coast because I was on California and Washington on fires that year. So that's pretty neat. I don't know that I'll ever do that again in one year, see all 3 coasts.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Nice. Um, I kind of took notes when we were chatting earlier too. I know, so you did Forged in Fire, and then you were telling me a little bit about like the local competitions or like I don't even know if you call it competitions, but do you want to talk on that a little bit too? That's kind of
Yeah,
something
I went
unique.
to one at Robbie Bowman's shop in Pigeon Forge last month. And they called it a grudge match, but it's kind of just like a friendly competition deal, where we just a lot of us get together and share ideas and get to just kind of compete against each other. And what we did, it was we would go up on stage and there would be 2 anvils and 2 forges, and we would all make and the whole time we're just back and forth with each other, not just a playful fun, just ribbing at each other and stuff. And we get to forge out a little blacksmith knife, and then the crowd picks by cheering who wins, and then they get to draw for who, and we give the knives to a winner in the crowd. So it was a neat little deal. I'll be back to that. And I got another one coming up December the 3rd in Mobile, Alabama, at the USS Alabama Battleship Park, if I remember right. That's kind of the same thing. It'll just be a 1 day deal. But yeah, I'm looking
Nice.
forward to that too, for
Cool.
sure.
I mean, it sounds like too, it's kind of opened up, I would assume, like just kind of opened up like a whole new network or a whole new community to be involved in. So I know,
It it has. It really has. And like the bladesmithing
yeah,
community is it's kind of like the fire community. I mean, everybody's just so willing to help each other. Like there's no secrets. If you struck with, I mean, you're trying to do something, you can't figure it out. If you just ask somebody, they're going to tell you exactly how they did it and just to help you out. I mean,
mm,
everybody's trying to help each other out. It's not like, hey, I did that before you. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. No, it's nothing like that at all.
that's cool. I know, I mean, the couple of things that I've done with art throughout the years, it seems like the same thing too, where people are more than willing to like invite you in and share what they know. And I think that's how people grow in their craft too, is like when you're willing to share and help other people out, like you receive that back tenfold, right? So,
Oh yeah,
just
100%,
yeah, sharing what you know, there's a huge power in that. That's amazing.
100%.
Yeah, right on. Um, Also tying in with like fire and stuff, I know you have a picture of a knife that you made with some chain, and some Nomex. So I'd asked you about that a
Yeah,
while back, but I would love if you could share about that as well, because I think that's pretty unique. Like I've never seen something like that.
yeah, me neither. What I did was I found there was a pile of old Nomex in our office that was just going to go in the garbage. So
Mhm.
I grabbed a few of them and I was like, I can do something with this. And I ended up finding a guy to make me some micarta handle material out of it. And I've been holding on to it for a little while to do something special with it. It's not something that I'm just going to make a lot of. And I've still got a few more, enough to do a few more.
Mhm.
So, um, Huey, the artist, I've got her T-shirt on right now. Matter of fact,
Oh,
um,
hey,
she
hey.
she she paints. I'm gonna get her to paint me something one day. I have to. But amazing
Yeah,
artist, just
thanks.
draws all kinds. If you can see my cup, I've got her stickers everywhere. Yeah, I'm a
I
big
was gonna
fan.
say, I think Shuey, I think you're on. If so, you might have a commission
Oh,
piece.
is she on?
I thought so.
I can see. Oh, she might
That's
be.
awesome. I love it.
But yeah, she actually contacted me and asked me about donating for the Rip and Lips Invitational from to Sam
Hell yeah.
Hersey.
Yeah.
So she got me in
Hey, girl.
contact there. Yeah, there she is. She knows I'm a huge fan. I've told her that multiple times. But she got me in
Amazing.
contact
Yeah.
with Sam. And so
Mhm.
me and Sam have been in contact for a little while about he's
Nice.
donating for the Rip and Lips Invitational. So I got to think I was like, I've got to make something just crazy good. Like it can't be just something normal.
Mhm.
So I got the thought of making Damascus with a canister out of a chainsaw chain. So I put a chainsaw chain in a can and made Damascus out of it. That's what I forged the blade out of, and I took that handle material and put it on it, and I put a little note with it that I kind of figured since I've toted a chainsaw around wearing Nomex so much that I've got to put Nomex handles on a chainsaw chain blade.
Heck yeah.
So that auctioned off. I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but it went for a pretty good. It went for a pretty good penny, so it helped them out a lot. And
Yeah.
actually, do Kevin Conley,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
one that rode his bike across? He was there.
Yep.
He was the guest speaker that day.
Hmm.
So and he ended up with that knife. So he has that knife now. Kevin does.
Oh, that's awesome.
And his book just came out, by the way. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. Y'all need to go buy his book. I bought it and I'm waiting on it.
Yep.
It should be in a few days.
Yep. Same here. Yeah, no,
Above.
Kevin's a cool dude. We've kind of gone back and forth, just, shooting the bull, and yeah, amazing story. I'm super pumped for his story too. It's really, I don't know, to me it's really cool to see people sharing their stories and just getting that out there. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So
Kevin's the
that's cool.
man. I've chatted with him a few times. He's a good dude.
Yeah, for sure. I
I
mean,
always
so
told
many
him,
people. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, there's so many people in fire community that, yeah, just so much talent and so much knowledge, and I mean that's why I think doing this is kind of a cool idea too, because it allows people to come on and share stuff that maybe not everybody else knows. So I'm super stoked about that. So yeah. Anyway, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. No, I think I was just going to say something about me and Kevin have chatted a few times. He's a good guy. And I told him I remember, told him if he decides to get back on the bike, he's got to make like a detour through North Mississippi. That way he can come up
Yeah,
here and make a
yeah,
knife and stuff. So,
yeah. That'd be awesome.
and me and I'm gonna spoiler alert. Me and
Uh-oh.
I've kind of chatted with Jessica a little bit, and we're gonna do something pretty crazy for this next Rip and Lips if it works out. I think it's going to, but it's gonna be something.
Nice.
That's
That's
all I'm
exciting.
gonna say about it.
Okay. Well, cat's out of the bag. I don't know. We'll see. That's awesome. Um, Joe Brinson, say something about me. I
Oh
would know him. I don't know who
yeah,
you
my
are. I
buddy
just
Joe.
must be on Wesley.
That's my buddy Joe. He's a fire guy. He was my task force leader in Texas. Good dude. Joe is a good dude. He works the Apalachicola. Is that how you say it, Joe? Something like that. National Forest in Florida. Good guy. Joe is a
Oh,
good guy.
awesome.
So there, I said something about you.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, Joe. We appreciate what you do, man. That's awesome. Yeah, you were saying you were in Texas for a month and a half, thereabout?
Let me see. I did 3 hitches. So see, I was there 6 weeks. Yeah,
Okay.
I went once, twice, once as a ground guy, once as a dozer operator, and then I went single resource heavy equipment boss one time.
Nice.
So yeah, we didn't. We usually send crews out as like a type two initial attack, or a 20 man hand crew, or we'll send uh, suppression modules. It's like a 7 to 10 man suppression modules. But
Mm-hmm.
this year we were so busy in Texas, we didn't send any. That was it. Everybody was in Texas. Like I said, there was a few that went out single resource out west, like some equipment managers and a few heavy equipment bosses. But for the most part, it was all we could do to keep those dozer staff because they needed help in Texas bad. And if we
I
don't start
think I
getting some
remember.
rain, we're going to need help here.
Yeah, I think I remember this summer we had touched base at some point. You were like, "Man, we're just running and gunning 24/7." It seems like.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty
Man.
crazy. And then we get back here, and then the drought hits, and we've been running like crazy here. But we got some rain last night, so we'll get a little bit of a break for a day or two.
Dang. Well, I'll be praying you guys get dumped on. I don't say that
I hope
often,
so.
but hopefully.
Yeah, see,
Man.
Joe said he did. Joe said he did 5 rolls in Texas this year, so
Dang.
it was a lot.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank
But
you
I hope
guys
to
for
get
what you
out.
do. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
I hope to get out west further. Thought I was going to do one more and try and go out to California or Washington this past year, but we couldn't because
Mhm.
by the time it calmed down in Texas, it picked up here. So we're getting into
Gotcha.
our burning season here to site prep burning. So my Western fire's done for the year.
Well, there's always next year, I guess.
Yeah,
It'll be burning, I'm sure.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Huh, man.
But yeah, that's about me. I'm making knives
Yeah.
about 5 years and love it. Love every minute of it. It's good to have a little second job that you really like. So. But
Yeah.
I've got to brag on my wife. I wouldn't be anywhere without her. She's my biggest fan, and
Mm.
she's helps hold everything together while I'm spending late nights down there in the shop. So it's if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at. There's no way. So
Yeah.
big thanks to her.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I don't know, it's interesting like how much our family and like our close friends like they don't necessarily understand the fire life, but at the same time they kind of get it where it's like God, they become the rock in a lot of those
Right.
situations, because when you are working in fire and you're working the long hours and then, like if you're running a side business or you have, other obligations, like it gets to be a lot for sure. So
It does.
um, it's definitely important to have that support system.
I mean, multiple times I'd go from the house to the shop and then have to leave from the shop and go to a fire, and then I'm gone till midnight, 2, 3 in the morning, and then she has to
Mhm.
deal with the 6 year old, which is a full time job in itself, and there I'm out
Yep,
there in the middle of the woods, and yeah, it's having somebody like that is that's worth every penny. It's couldn't do it without her for sure.
absolutely.
You're fixing to get
Man.
married, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's about well, fixing it. It's funny. We got I think it was about almost 2 months ago that he proposed now, and we still have yet to figure it out. People are like, "Hey, when's the day? What's going on?" And we're like, "Well, we haven't really seen each other because, fire season. I was in Montana for 2 weeks and then in dispatch in California for 2 weeks. He's been Delta staffing and whatnot, but I just tell people, we'll be married before we're 80 at this point. We'll get it
Yeah,
figured
you'll
out."
figure it out. You'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I mean for you guys too, congratulations on you said 7 years.
I think
They're
something
about
like that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
somewhere around
yeah,
there.
somewhere in there. Yeah, no,
I
that's
figured
awesome.
if I figured she'd be on here to correct me, but she
Oh
might be busy at
no.
work. Yeah, she might be busy at work.
Oh, and what's her name?
Aaron?
Erin. All right. Well,
Yeah,
Erin, thank you. Thank you for your support and keep on keeping on. I love
Yeah.
it.
Are you gonna be able to save this and post it?
Yeah, I'm thinking whenever I close out of here, it should, fingers crossed, give me an option to like post the recording. Um I had an issue one time before with I think the only other live that I've done where my internet freaked out and then it lost everything, but I have better connection now, so it should work. So yeah, that way if you want to, share it, if you have
Yeah,
anybody that
sure.
wants it, yeah, yeah. Um, and I was gonna say too, I mean, if you want, I can definitely throw in your website, like once it's finally posted, just kind of add that in there if people want to go check out your art, support you. I think that'd be pretty cool for folks to see what you're into.
Yeah. Well, my link's on my website. I mean, on my Instagram page, and I'm on
Okay.
W Crum Bladesmith on everything: Facebook, TikTok, which I don't post much on there, or YouTube, but it's there.
Alrighty.
So,
Nice.
but
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah, I'm currently look. There's my mom reminding me.
after
Yes, it's been
7
7
years.
years.
That's
That's
awesome.
my mother. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah. I don't remember what I was gonna say now. Oh, I closed custom orders for now because I was running about a year and a half backlog. So I closed custom orders to get caught up. And that way I can start. I want to be able when somebody, wants a custom, I want to be able to get it done within a month or so. I don't like people waiting a year for because by then some people's attention spans aren't that long, and they just by the time I get to them and they're like, whatever, I'm really don't want
Mhm.
to anymore. So
Right.
I'm trying to cut that weight down, which you can get blades off my website. I mean, they're not real. I mean, you can pick different handle materials, but it's just a certain shape that I have that you could do. Anything that says in stock, you can order it and I can have it done in a week or so. But a true custom, I don't know when I'll open them back up. But when I do, like I said, I'm just going to take short bursts of 5 or 10, get those done, and then I'll do some more. That way, I shorten that down. That way, I don't know, people aren't waiting a year. That's not fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of goes back to like that time management where, you have to figure out, okay, how many can I do? And then also do fire and family and everything else. So
Right.
I think,
Yeah,
I
it
think,
gets overwhelming to have I mean, yeah, I can look at a list and be like, yeah, that's work for the next year, but then you feel kind of obligated to just work on
Mhm.
that and not work on other stuff, not work on stuff that
Sure.
you want to work on. And, you want to take a day off from the shop and go do something with your family, but you're like, I got to get this stuff out. So it's kind of a
Mhm.
struggle, but you just got to make it work.
Well, and the fact that you're actually doing it, that's awesome because I know a lot of people, and I've been there too. I mean, you get an idea and you're like, man, that'd be really cool. I'd like to keep up with this. I'd like to do XYZ, and then XYZ never happens.
Right.
So, definitely give yourself the grace to be like, you know what, I'm doing it, just one foot in front of the other. I think you're
That's
doing
it.
awesome.
You
Yeah.
gotta do it. I mean, a guy came up to me one time with a knife that he had made himself. And he said, "What do you think about that?" And I said, "I think it's awesome." And he was like, "No, it don't look that great." And I said, "Well, I said it's awesome. Let me tell you why I think it's awesome. Because do you know how many people come up to me and message me and all that and be like, 'Oh, I've always wanted to do that. I just couldn't never make the time or I couldn't never do it.'" And I'm like, "Yeah, you got to want to." I said, "But you didn't do that. You actually took the time and you did it. So that's awesome." And then I think that kind of that meant a lot to that guy.
Yeah.
So that's a way of looking at stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if people have a talent and a passion and a drive to do something, I'm all for it. Get out there and do it. I mean, that's amazing.
That's it.
Mm.
And
Nice.
people that are on some of my people that are on here or watching or might see this, they may not know who you are or what you make or what you do. So right here, I've got one of them right here. This is the boot, the new boot goofing one
How do you
with
like
the
it?
candles.
How do you
I
like it?
like it. Your candle. I hadn't burnt this one yet.
Awesome.
I'm still working on the other one, the coffee one, morning
Okay,
briefing.
briefing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I just bought
Nice.
some new boots not too long ago, and I meant to take a picture with these, and I forgot to. Now they're all dirty. So
You know what? That's
yeah,
okay. Mine were dirty when I took the like my product photography. I'm try to take my own photography, and I'm like, I should probably hire somebody who knows what they're doing with this, but I'll get there. Oh man.
But yeah, if you're one of my followers that are watching this, y'all should go check her out. She makes candles that smell amazing. This one's tobacco, cinnamon, and leather called New Boot Goofing, and it's pretty awesome. She's got a bunch of good ones. Check her out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
somebody just said best candles ever.
Elena, hey girl, thank you. Yeah, I kind of a little spoil alert for my end. I just bought some 4 ounce tins, so they're gonna be like little guys. I figure, especially with like Christmas coming up, that way people can do like different sizes if they want as gifts. And then I also decided, well, Christmas is coming up, so I might as well get on and do some Christmas scents. So I've got a couple things coming in the pipeline. So that's
Sweet.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll check them out
yeah,
for sure.
nice. It might take me a little while just to get everything dialed in, but it's coming. So cool.
Sweet.
Well, I know you said you have to get to work here, I don't know, sometime soon-ish, right?
Do what? You cut out for just a second.
Oh, I was saying, if I remember correctly, you said you had to get out and go to work here in a little while too.
Yeah, I'm fixing to have to go here in just a few. I've got
Okay.
a few things I've got to run do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, why don't we'll go ahead and just wrap up. I really appreciate you coming on. This has been awesome. I think for the first round it didn't go too bad. Hopefully we'll get some more folks
Yeah,
on, and I appreciate
well,
you
glad.
sharing your story.
Yeah, well, glad I could be your guinea pig. Maybe, maybe we'll learn a little. Maybe learn a little and make the next one even better.
Yeah, cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Have a good day, and I hope you guys stay safe out there.
All right, appreciate it.
All right. Have a good week.
All right.
Bye.